Alexandria.
All right, little Jay settled on his Halloween costume yesterday. He's going to be Joe Burrow for the second straight year. Last year, he was rocking the purple and gold number 9. This year, he's going to be in the orange and black 9 as we picked up the Burrow jersey.
Level up.
That's right.
There's levels to this.
Speaking of levels, Joe Burrow is the best rookie quarterback in the NFL. Who's surprised? Nobody here. Over 1,100 yards and the first rookie quarterback to throw for at least 300 yards in his first 3 starts. Joe Burrow was the best player in college football last season. Lamar Jackson was the best player in the NFL last season. Both those guys square off for the first time this Sunday in an AFC North matchup. Jimmy Burrow is a great friend of our show. He's a great resource for us. We always enjoy talking to him, and we have dialed him up on this Friday morning. Coach, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely.
Oh, man. I
is,
just got warm feelings through my body. It's good to talk to you again, Coach.
It is great to have you back on here, Coach. What has been your point of view of the first 3 weeks of the NFL season? How have you enjoyed this? How have you enjoyed this first 3 weeks?
Well, the Bengals certainly have made improvements. A work in progress. I think Joe, although he's played well, he knows he can do better, and he's excited. Where they are at this point, but he's never been one that accepted losing. He's so competitive, and with a few bounces here and there, coulda, woulda, but they could be actually 4-0 right now. So he's looking forward to this week. Certainly a challenge. I mean, the Ravens are one of the best defenses around. Yeah,
led by Patrick Queen, another LSU rookie, as this rookie class is dominated after dominating draft day. Joe's completing 66% of his passes. He's thrown for over 1,100 yards, six scores through the air. He's got 1 on the ground. Coach, he's been sacked 15 times. I thought the mic'd up last week was pretty cool insight to seeing him on the field. I mean, he wants to slide. You can tell the coaches are urging him to slide. He's still learning how to do that. What's been the physical toll on the number 1 pick through the first 3 weeks?
Well, he's certainly sore after games, but in the NFL, the practices aren't near as physical as they were at LSU and in college, wherever I've been. So that's a good thing, really, to have about 2 days after the Sunday game of not much running and practicing, and I don't know for sure how many days are actually in pads. I don't think very many. So you get more time to recuperate, and he certainly needed it. And sliding isn't in his nature. I know Coach Ogeron would try to get him for 2 years to do it, and but he knows he needs to. The quarterback at any level is so important, and they're not paying him money to try to run over linebackers. So he's getting the hang of it.
Did you happen to see the mic'd up clip last week, Coach, where he's talking to the referee and they're kind of joking about that? The refs are telling him, like, you're going to learn to slide real quick in this league. And he's like, yeah, man. I mean, did you see last week? Like, I'm working on it.
Well, Mom and Dad thought it was cool that the official was looking out for our son.
Yeah.
So hopefully he learned from that. And, I mean, you have to have the longevity in a career as a running back, as a quarterback, and a running back for that, as far as that goes. But he's going to do it. He doesn't want to miss games because of something that he could have avoided when it comes to contact. So I think he's getting the hang of it.
So there's so much. I mean, just looking at last year, looking at what he's done so far, it seems like everything Joe does, he just seems like almost infallible, man. Like nothing is ever too big for him. Has he revealed anything that has caused him trouble on the NFL level? Like, what does he feel that he's kind of struggling with the most right now?
Well, I don't know for sure. That he's I think struggling with really anything particular.
Yeah. I know.
but he there's probably a lot more coverages being disguised in the back end. I know we've talked about that. There's just so much more time to prepare as a defense and a defensive coordinator, because I mean that's your job. You don't have to go to class. You don't You don't have to do anything other than just prepare for that next opponent. So I think that's been something that he's at least figured out, that he's going to see a lot of different things from week to week and see things that particular defense hasn't shown before. So that's just a learning experience when it comes to a rookie quarterback.
How was it after you got his first win?
Well, it was great. Rob and I were able to be there. They allowed 6,000 fans. That was the first home game we'd been able to go to. We're at the Browns game. He was excited. We got a chance to see him at his house for a couple hours after the game. And that first win is hard to get in the NFL, or any win. I mean, Joe knows that it's a battle, and I think that's another thing he's learned, that every week it just comes down to 4 or 5 different plays, and doesn't really matter what your record is or the opponent's record. It's going to be a tough game, and for the most part they're all close. And but he's looking forward to this weekend. I think you guys know he likes challenges, and this is certainly going to be one of them.
No doubt about that. Before we look forward to that, take me back. How mad or how much were you yelling at the television when they called OPI in game 1 on what looked like the game-winning touchdown?
Well, as a defensive coordinator and former defensive back coach, I've yelled many a time that it should be offensive pass.
Oh, no, it was you. It was karma. All these years you've been calling for it, and you finally got your wish.
I was just so disappointed, and it was one of those calls that, just from coaching over the years and watching NFL games, it may be called, it may not be called.
Yeah, no doubt.
I was thinking, like NBA, if it's the final shot, you can darn near tackle a guy and they're not going to call anything.
Right.
But as Joe would tell you, and he certainly did in his interviews, that it shouldn't have come down to that one particular play, and he had opportunities as well as their offense to get some more points on the board, and you just never want it to come down to that. And then the kicker, Randy, one of the best kickers. I mean, I don't think he's missed one
Coach,
since then.
He had made like 30 in a row or something, and now everybody down here just thinks he sucks because that was their first Randy Bullock moment.
And he does, and he's been outstanding since then. And those things happen in the crazy world of the NFL.
Typical Aggie move by Bullock. I'm just kidding. Everybody was singing the Burrow Blues a couple of weeks back, Coach, here in Louisiana after the opening game, but things have righted with LSU last weekend in Vanderbilt, and you look up and Miles is playing really good. What's been your point of view of watching LSU play, and how weird is it looking at the purple and gold and not seeing number 9 under center?
Well, it is strange, but we're big fans, as Joe is, of Miles, and that's just, you're going to see improvement with Miles every single week.
Yep.
Just when you haven't played for a couple of years, and you're out there against those defenses in the SEC, it's just not going to happen right away. And I thought Miles, even in the first game, played good, and he's going to get better every week. Sometimes you just forget about how many guys on that football team are now starting in the NFL, and then you add those to the guys that opted out, and then Stingley doesn't play in that first game. Expectations are always going to be really high at LSU, and they should be, but they lost a lot of players, so it's not going to happen just overnight to replace all those guys.
The coach, Jimmy Burrow, joining us here on Off the Bench, ESPN, Baton Rouge, New Orleans, and Alexandria. Always good to hear from Coach. What's the state of Ohio like now with Joe settled in as the starter in the face of the Bengals?
Well, especially since there's been not much college football since Cincinnati's playing, but Ohio State isn't. So really, the whole focus has been on the Bengals. At least in this part, the Browns are playing well, and they've taken to Joe like LSU fans, and there were so many jerseys with Burrow on the back at that game the other day. I was surprised because, you know, at LSU you couldn't really sell jerseys with Burrow on the back, or they would have been a lot there also. Maybe they are now.
Yes.
But that was fun. It's great to be 2.5 hours away. You know, we were able to go to the game. We spent the night at Joe's on Saturday night. We went over that night. I'll give you a quick story. You know, Joe's, you guys know how locked in he is. And so we hadn't seen him in a few weeks, and so we wanted to. We said, hey, they stay in a hotel, so we said, hey, we're going to be there around 7 to get just say hello to me as you're going out the door. He texted back, see you tomorrow. So that gave me my orders that we weren't supposed to bother him the night before the game, but. That was great, and then to still be able to get back at a decent time on Sunday night. Robin's working still as a principal, and so it was a good weekend for our family.
Do you make the trip to Baltimore?
We would. We had planned on going to every game, but my understanding is that there's no fans there. There might have been. I think there were 250 immediate families of the staff and players at their last game. And once again, Joe, he doesn't give us a lot of information. That's not on his mind during the week is, hey, Mom and Dad want to go to this game. So like last week, we didn't even know our ticket situation until I think maybe Friday he texted us and he said, hey, you got 2 tickets. And that was about it. So we had to fend for ourselves to find out how to proceed after that. But we miss going. I mean, that's the one thing about going to 15 LSU games and being a part of that whole Baton Rouge scene before the game and after the game and going to the away games in the SEC. I mean, we really miss that.
There are Bengal jerseys on every corner. We were at Traction last week for flag football, and there were Bengals and Burrow jerseys.
Dude, the kids in my neighborhood,
all over
the little kids got it.
It is
crazy.
wild, Coach. It's
great.
Great.
I'm sure Halloween there'll be more than just your Burrow jersey from the Bengals, and we have ours too. We've joined right in.
Coach, it is great to hear from you. Send the Golden Boy our best, and tell him to keep fighting, and we'll catch up
soon. All right,
soon.
go Bengals and go Tigers.
Yes, sir. There he is, Coach Jimmy Burrow checking in. We'll
Day. Danny, are you triggered? Are you triggered? Look at him. He's so mad.
No, ain't doing all that. Ain't doing all that just yet. Not just yet. All right, Cole Kublik talking SEC football next.